Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Hamzah Sheeraz is he's still a young man, but he's knocking on the door of world title shots, and he was actually due to go into a purse bid for the IBF title, and that was to fight Janibek Alimkanhuly. Now, Alimkanhuly holds two belts, the WBO and the IBF. This purse bid was for the IBF, but Queensberry Promotions have pulled him out, Shiraz this is, of that bid. And this raised a few eyebrows, but I think if you break it down, there is a sort of method to what's going on here, because I think what Queensberry are going to do is they're going to take Shiraz down the another path, a different path, to face CARLOS ADAMES. Adames is the WBC champ. He recently had a fight with Terrell Gausha. He's considered to be quite a beatable champion, and I would probably pick Shiraz to beat him. Shiraz he's come of age over the last year. He's beaten Ammo Williams. That was a fantastic win. He mopped the floor in less than 2 rounds with what's the guy named? Tyler Denny, who was the EBU champ. He did Liam Williams in a round. He's definitely there. Or the only slight bit of caution I have is that he's so massive for the weight, and he's a young man, and eventually, sooner rather than later, I think he will outgrow the middleweight division. He might be more comfortable at 168 right now. I mean, I'm not going to second guess his team, but they're definitely taking him down that WBC path with Adames. Now, you might say, well, if he'd fought Janibek Alimkanhuly, who is a much better fighter than Adames, in my opinion, he'd have fought for 2 belts. But here's the logic behind this. Queensberry have 2 highly ranked IBF contenders. Denzel Bentley's at number 2, and Brad Pauls, surprisingly, is at number 4. I mean, he's British champ, but you might think that's a little bit high. I think it probably is. No disrespect intended to Brad Pauls. And they are actually fighting for the British title on December the 7th at Wembley Arena. So I think probably the winner of that Queensberry will be looking to put him in with Janibek. I mean, Shane Mosley Jr. is highly ranked by the IBF as well. I think he's number 3. So we're talking a little bit of a jostling thing going on here. But what we could end up with, if things go according to plan for Queensberry, is that you will have either Denzel or Brad Pauls fighting Janibek, maybe beating him. Maybe. Would I pick Janibek to beat either of those? I probably would. But let's say either Brad Pauls or Denzel does pick up those 2 titles, and then let's say that as I would strongly favour Hamzah Sheeraz against Adames, let's say he picks up the WBC title. You can then match Hamzah Sheeraz with a fellow Brit for 3 belts, put 3 belts on the line, and that will definitely give Queensberry and Britain, the UK, dominance in the middleweight division. The middleweight division has been somewhat lacking lately. After Golovkin walked off into the sunset, and God bless him, good luck to him, it really was a case of, well, the belts went up in the air, and as is so often the case, kind of like with the welterweights now as well, now that Bud stepped up to 154, it's a bit like, after the Lord Mayor's show, you know what I mean? You need one dominant figure, and it always takes us 18 months, 2 years for someone to sort of emerge from the pack. Well, if the winner of, a unification, WBC, WBO and IBF, I mean, okay, the WBA is still out there, but you put those together, you've got a guy who can walk around and say, I am the top dog at middleweight. And if all of the pieces on the board belong to Queensberry, this could theoretically spell domination in the middleweight division, which is traditionally one of the, it's one of the original 8 divisions. It's quite a glamour division. Over the years, we've had some incredible middleweight champions. And, you could end up with Queensberry actually ruling the middleweights. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that could happen. So there is a method to this. A lot of people said, why is Shiraz being pulled out of the purse bid against Janibek? I think there's your answer. I think I definitely would pick him over Adames. And not that Adames is rubbish, but I don't make him more than, say, a B-level fighter. A good, tough, honest guy, but not an elite fighter. Shiraz isn't elite either at the moment, but he is on the ascendancy, and he has that youthful, physicality, power, stamina. I think I was really impressed with him against Amo Williams. And he got clipped early in that fight as well. Don't forget that. He did get clipped, and he wobbled, he shook a little bit. But there's no real shame in that, because Amo's a pretty good fighter himself. Not elite, but decent. I think Shiraz has the raw materials to be elite. And if he was to beat Adames, and then, I don't know, make one defence maybe, and then fight whoever does hold the WBC and IBF, the WBO and IBF titles, I think that will give him another year to kind of mature even more. Now, the only danger with that is that he will outgrow the division, because he's so big for middleweight. But the middleweights are beginning to gain a bit of momentum after a sort of fallow period, And I think this is going to be quite interesting over the next year with the middleweights. So let me know what you think. Are you as high on Shiraz as I am? I think he's a terrific prospect. I don't think he's proved it all yet, but I think he's very, very good. And Janibek's walking around saying he's the best. I think if he does hold on to those 2 belts for another year, and Shiraz does get that WBC title, they will pump this up as a huge unification. One of those last man standing things. We'll see, though. We'll see. Let me know what you think. Comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button if you don't mind. That would be great. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I'll get you later. Bye for now.